HS 4.2. So this hyperbilirubinemia, essentially, it can be either unconjugated bilirubin or conjugated bilirubin. So let's have a first look at unconjugated bilirubin. Well, unconjugated bilirubin is here, so it'll be a result of either too much being made and not enough being taken up and conjugated. So first of all, there's too much being made. Well, why would there be too much unconjugated bilirubin being made by the macrophages? Well, that's hemolysis. There's an increased production of heme, increased breakdown. You're breaking down too much heme, you're making too much unconjugated bilirubin. A couple of reasons for this: it could be hereditary, could be acquired, or it could be due to a rapid turnover of red blood cells in a neonate. So there's essentially an increased breakdown of red blood cells. So that's one reason why you'd have increased unconjugated bilirubin. Another reason is that it's not being conjugated for any reason, so that it's not being taken up, it's not being conjugated. And the reason for this is it's either competitive inhibition over here by drugs, preventing the active transport into the liver. It could be due to infection of the liver, and it can also be due to something called Gilbert's syndrome. So what Gilbert's syndrome is a lack of the enzyme required to conjugate the bilirubin. So if you remember, it's conjugated here in the liver by with glucuronic acid by an enzyme called UDP glucuronide transferase. So if you haven't got this enzyme for whatever reason, then you're not going to be conjugating it, you're going to get a build-up of unconjugated bilirubin. And this is Gilbert's syndrome here. So Gilbert's syndrome is a deficiency in this enzyme. So you're not conjugating the unconjugated bilirubin, therefore getting a build-up of unconjugated bilirubin. So you're getting unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia, which is getting deposited in the skin and the sclera of the eyes, giving you yellow skin and yellow eyes. So let's think about some of the findings. Well, jaundice will be recognizable at 50 millimoles per liter of unconjugated bilirubin in the blood. So if it's 50 millimoles per liter, then you have jaundice. Will bilirubin be found in the urine? Well, because it's not being conjugated, so you're not going to get a build-up of conjugated bilirubin which could enter the blood and then the kidneys. There won't be any bilirubin in the blood. But will there be urobilinogen in the blood? Well, if you remember, the urobilinogen is the conjugated bilirubin enters the bile duct, enters the colons, becomes urobilinogen by reaction with the getting unconjugated, getting converted by bacteria to urobilinogen. Although it's not being conjugated because of Gilbert's syndrome or whatever reason, the urobilinogen is still in the enterohepatic circulation. So you will still be getting urobilinogen in the urine. Urine will be normal colour. Also, you'll still be, because of the urobilinogen going around, you'll still be making stercobilinogen. Therefore, the feces will be the normal colour. So we've looked at hyperbilirubinemia, which is unconjugated bilirubin, but what about the next kind, which is conjugated bilirubin? Well, as I said, it gets conjugated in the liver, and then it's secreted by the liver, and then drained by the bile duct. So the things that can go wrong that cause a build-up of conjugated bilirubin is a problem in the secretion by the liver and a problem in the drainage by the duct. So first of all, let's look at the secretion. Well, something that can stop the secretion from the liver would be a hepatocellular disease, so something causing damage to the hepatocytes, the liver cells, such as hepatitis or intrahepatic cholestasis. So intra means inside the liver, intrahepatic, and cholestasis means blockage of the ducts, so something blocking the ducts within the liver itself. It can also be due to drugs affecting the function of the liver. And in terms of drainage into the bile duct, into the duodenum even, that can either be due to extrahepatic obstruction, so coming from outside the liver, or it could be due to intrahepatic obstruction from within the liver. Again, let's have a think about some of the findings. Well, again, jaundice will be recognizable at 50 millimoles per liter of conjugated bilirubin in the blood. This time, because of the conjugated bilirubin buildup in the liver, some of it, if you remember back to the structure of the liver, some of it, rather than going into the bile canaliculi, it will also enter the sinusoids and therefore enter the blood. And if it enters the blood, then it will go to the kidneys. So you'll get conjugated bilirubin in the kidneys, which will give urine a dark colour. Also, because of this failure of intrahepatic and extrahepatic secretion and excretion of the bile, it won't be able to become urobilinogen and stercobilinogen, and therefore, if you remember, the stercobilinogen gives feces its dark colour. So if you don't have stercobilinogen, you'll have pale feces, pale stool. Another way of categorising the types of jaundice is whether the cause is prehepatic, hepatic, or extrahepatic. Now, if it's prehepatic, it's happening before the liver, and the liver is not involved. So therefore, if it's prehepatic jaundice, it's going to be unconjugated bilirubin. It's upstream of the liver. And the two causes of prehepatic jaundice you need to know about is hemolysis, which is too much breakdown of heme, and also Gilbert's syndrome, which is a lack of the enzyme UDP glucuronidtransferase to conjugate the bilirubin. So therefore, if you think about some of the findings of prehepatic jaundice, you'll get increased bilirubin, obviously, which is unconjugated. 50 millimoles per litre, remember, is jaundice. However, the liver enzymes, the hepatocellular enzymes, AST, ALT, they'll be fine, they'll be normal level. And also the hepatobiliary enzymes, which is to do with the bilirubin, such as ALP and gamma GT, they'll be normal as well. So if you've got a raised level of unconjugated bilirubin in the blood, you've got to think, well, it's prehepatic jaundice. What are the causes? It's either hemolysis, Gilbert's syndrome. So what are you going to do? Well, to check for hemolysis, you're going to check the urine for blood. You're going to do a red blood cell count to see what the turnover rate is. And then you're going to check for Gilbert's syndrome. You're going to find out if there's something wrong with this UDP glucuronidtransferase enzyme.